There's no doubt that there were some great games last year. Some of the best games of 2021 are Deathloop, It Takes Two, and Ratchet Clank, Rift Apart. Still, this year has already given us a bunch of great games that are even more interesting. Still to come are games like Saints Row, Gotham Knights, God of War, Ragnarok, and Redfall. But which of the games we've played in the year 2022 was the best? Let's get into it. So far in 2022, these are the 10 best games. But before we start our countdown, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon as well. Number 1. Stray. You've probably visited at least one cyberpunk world while playing games, but have you ever done it as a cat? That's one reason why Stray is such a fun little game. Other than letting you explore as a cat, the game keeps you interested by giving you little bits of information about the world and where you're trying to go. You can also do cat things like scratch things or take a nap. The best parts are the small open world sections where you have to do several smaller tasks to move forward. The more linear platforming and escape missions also help to make the game more complete. Number 2. Tokyo, Ghostwire. Ghostwire. Tokyo is a big open-world game where you fight scary enemies with scary powers. You can explore the Japanese city to figure out why the people have disappeared and the spirits have taken over. You play as a regular guy, but you have the soul of a detective hitchhiking in your head. You use elemental karate moves to fight back against the ethereal invasion, which is a lot different than the sword or gun that most action heroes use. Not every part of the story is as interesting as this, but you'll probably enjoy the sights of foggy Tokyo all the way to the end of the campaign and in all the side quests and diversions you'll find along the way. Number 3. Monster Hunter Rise. Already on our list of the best games for Nintendo Switch, the PC version of MH, Rise lets the game shine thanks to the more powerful hardware of gaming PCs. The game is still the same. The story is still about stopping a rampage of wild monsters, and the game loop is still killing monsters, getting loot, and upgrading your gear to get ready for the next hunt. Your rideable Palamute friend and a new grappling hook will help you along the way. Both will change the way you travel and fight. Number 4. Elden Ring. The challenging combat and exploration of Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne are now available in an open world. As the Tarnished, it's your job to look around the lands between for a way to put the Ring of the Tarnished back together. There are familiar things like limited safe zones, multiplayer light features like messages, and deadly boss fights. The difference is that these things are spread out across the map, and you have to find them yourself, instead of being at the end of a metaphorical hallway. But even people who have never played a Soulsborne game before should be able to get the hang of Elden Ring. If you've never played one before, don't be scared off by the name. Number 5. Alan Wake Remastered. In this new version of Alan Wake and its 2 DLC packs, you can go back to Bright Falls. You go on a trip to what seems like a cute little town to get away from things, putting yourself in the shoes and shabby jacked of the title writer. Alan will have to deal with different and darker problems when his wife goes missing and shadow monsters take over Bright Falls. The game feels like a typical third-person shooter, but before you can shoot your enemies, you have to burn away their darkness shields by shining your flashlight on them for a long time. With only the single beam in your hand as a source of light, you'll have to carefully choose who to attack first or just hold them back while you run to the next safe area. When you add in the theme of the scary TV show, you have a lot of delicious atmosphere to enjoy as you play. Number 6. Psychonauts 2. It's been too long since the first Psychonauts surprised us with its fun platforming and creative environments, so we're glad to try out the second one. The second time around, it's even more fun to play as Raz, because he has new powers that can be changed in more ways. Plus, each unique environment and set of enemies looks great on a modern PC because it has more power. Number 7. Guilty Gear Strive. The latest part of the busy 2D fighting series is also the easiest to understand. GG Strive gives you every chance to get into the game, whether it's through the detailed tutorial, the many missions and training options to help you learn moves and combos, or the detailed glossary and lore resources to help you catch up on the story. The story mode is fun if you like anime action, but the one-on-one fights are what make the game what it is. All of the characters have a variety of flashy and powerful moves, but it's up to you to figure out how to combine them to beat your opponent. Number 8. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. After a disappointing entry on the last generation of consoles, the original Mass Effect trilogy is back with a remastered version for the PC, £5, and Xbox Series X/S. But this isn't just a fresh coat of paint on the same old games. BioWare has changed the controls and gameplay in all 3 games so that they work better. And yes, that includes the famous Mako tank from the first game. All of the games come with all of the DLC, whether it's just extra weapons and armor or a whole new story. This is one of the best PC games right now because it has so much high-quality content to enjoy. Number 9. Little Nightmares IA. Little Nightmares IA is a sequel that is just as good as the first one. Once again, you play as a weak child who is trying to get away from monster adults. This time, though, you're not alone. You play as Mono, the boy in the paper bag, but you're joined by Six, the girl in the yellow jacket, who was the main character in the first game. As you might expect, there are enemies to avoid or fight, as well as many traps and environmental hazards to avoid. The visual design and sound design are as atmospheric as ever, which helps create a baseline feeling of unease as you move through the Pale City. It's not as long as some of these other great PC games, but it's still a lot of fun. Number 10. Nioh 2, the Complete Edition. The sequel to Nioh, which came out in 2017, keeps the core of the action RPG, which was already hard, but adds fun new parts on top of that. You play as a half-spirit, half-human who lives in an early modern Japan full of both good and bad spirits. As you travel across the islands, you'll meet important historical figures from the Sengoku period and fight the yokai that stand in your way. The Dark Souls games are the most obvious games to compare this to. Both you and your opponents die quickly in battle, but you can improve your skills with new items you find and make, which will help you get to the next checkpoint. So, these are the top 10 best games of 2022 so far. If you like the video, leave a comment and also subscribe to our channel for more top 5 videos. Press the bell icon for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching.